Well, hello everyone, I'm Branden Bodendorfer, and today guys, we're going to talk about two devices that recently came out on the market, two devices that are really kind of expensive, probably the two most expensive phones on the market currently. We're going to be looking at the Surface Duo 2, and we're going to be looking at the Fold 3. And we're going to talk about these devices and compare them side by side on various topics to help you determine what is the best for you. Now, when I'm looking at a review video, we can talk about tech and specs and get all excited about all those greatest features that came out, but I want this review to be about practicality. Are you actually able to use this device, make an investment in it, and get some type of return out of it? Because, I mean, we're talking some big bucks here. I think one of them is around $1,500, the other one was around $1,600. So we're talking a lot of dollars. So you need to be able to get some type of return. So today we're going to talk about productivity and how you can utilize these devices. All right, thanks for joining me. So we're going to talk about these devices, but first and foremost, I made a couple little set changes, a little bit different lighting. I'm actually sitting down for a change. I don't know if I'm feeling it, so I'm hoping this video you get something out of. So if you guys do, by all means, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe to our channel. We cover tons of different videos about tech, digital planning, and how to get productivity from both of those agendas. So with that being said, a little bit about myself. I'm Branden Bodendorfer, creator and founder of the Key to Success Planning System. If you're someone that has enjoyed traditional planning or someone that loves tech and you want to maximize the return of your investment through daily planning, getting your vision on paper and your thoughts on paper into goals and habits that make you more efficient and productive in this world, by all means, check out the description and learn about our planner. We're going to show you a few clips in the video as we unpack these two devices. So first and foremost, we have the Surface Duo 2 and the Fold 3. And I'm going to start by telling you my thoughts on this from a form factor standpoint. Looking at the Surface Duo 2, I mean, it's a beautiful device. It is really super thin. It's like one of the thinnest phones on the market currently. It is dual screens. It is a beautiful hinge mechanism. And it's a really kind of a good looking phone. I mean, if you have this phone and you take it out like in Target or in line at a movie theater or something, you are going to get people that are going to say, wow, what's that? It is really remarkable. And this is, in my opinion, a pretty good upgrade from the first generation. So looking at the Fold 3, it looks more like a traditional phone. You have the long, narrow presence of a phone here. It's something that if you put up to your ear and make a phone call on, it looks natural, it feels natural, but it opens up and folds to one giant canvas. And this is where these two phones start to become different. I'll put this phone down and I'll open up the Surface Duo 2 right next to it. And you can see instantly that there is a considerable difference when it comes to the size and space and real estate of these two devices. Now, in my hand, I'm looking at these two devices. I have, with the Fold 3, I have one canvas to work with. There's no hinge, there is no split between the screens, but there is a little bump out. When it comes to using the Duo, I do have the ability to go back and forth, but I have that hinge. I have that separation of those screens in front of me. Now, I can also peel this back and get that kind of same singular screen effect that you saw with the Duo. To do that with the Duo, I literally have to close the screen. And even there, you can see quite a bit different screen ratio between the two devices. We talked about thickness early on, and you can see that the thickness of these two devices, when folded, there's enough there. There's enough of a difference there. When flat, the Surface Duo is by all means a lot thinner, but this also has some caveats to it. You don't have wireless charging with the Duo like you do the Fold. To me, that's not a big thing, but it's one thing, right? I often will throw my phone down on a wireless charging pad on my desk. That way I can easily grab it, put it back down, grab it, put it back down, grab it, put it back down. It's a little bit how the day goes, up and down with the phone calls. But no wireless charging on the Surface Duo 2. The only thing with this device, the one thing I can't get to a point that I enjoy putting this in my pocket. And then if I put it in my back pocket, remember the whole, when iPhone came out with the whole pocket gate situation, I constantly think as thin as this phone is, if I put this in my back pocket, it's going to bend. I have not tried it and I will not try it, but I can only imagine what that would be like if it did. So that's kind of a visual look at the phones. But let's talk about how it feels in your hand outside of putting it in your pocket. I can put this phone in my hand, the Dual 2, and I mean, it feels good. It feels like it's a two-handed device. If I go into like web browsing or typing in it, there's a lot of different ways you can type on this device. You can do the one hand, you can do the full, you can do it where it splits across both screens. I will say though, if I go to one hand and I have to type over here, I don't understand why, like, I should be able to see what's over here. And maybe there's a reason and I don't fully know, but typing with two hands isn't too bad. But that is what it's like to type on this device, hold it in your hand. Again, it's not something I'm gonna put in my pocket. When I wanna go ahead and use the fold, first off, if I go to here, this screen when it comes to typing with one hand or two hands is a little more challenging. It works on the go. It's not something I generally will do a quick text reply or a quick message reply. It's not something I traditionally govern towards if I'm gonna do like heavy productivity. At that point, I will switch the device over and I'll go to this mode. Like I said, we'll go back to CNN. To me, this feels like a better typing experience. It does feel a little better in my hand. I overall enjoy typing on this device better than I do the Surface Dual 2. All right, we talked about using this device and what it means to type on it, the form factor of it, the thickness, put it in your pocket, and all those great things. But let's get into the part that you and I are going to benefit from, and that's the ability to use the apps, the functionality of that larger screen space, if it be one large canvas or dual screens, and the ability to actually use a stylus with the device. Now, someone that loves daily planning, this has been what really gravitated me to both of these devices. So first off, let's talk about the Surface Dual and how that looks and feels. Now, last year when this device first came out, I did an entire video showing you guys how to use this device, how to use OneNote with this device, and what it meant to me. I also did a quick overlay last week, kind of covering some of the same details. But first and foremost, storage of the device, storage of the pen on the device itself. Surface has this really nice magnetic piece. However, I don't know if I totally feel comfortable like taking this, throw it in my bag, throw it in the front seat of my car, and not losing this very expensive piece of hardware, okay? Now, at least there's a way that it can stick to the device. When it comes to the Fold 3, Samsung took a different approach. They came up with their own case, which we've showed in previous videos. I personally have kind of moved on from that case and moved on to this case here. As you can see, I can actually slide my pen in here, but there's no place that I can set the pen on and it'll stay to it. I literally have to have some type of case, some type of mechanism to hold the actual pen wherever I go. This particular case, and I'm sure other cases will come out for the Dual, but this one here for the Fold 3 definitely feels secure. It feels like I can throw this on the front seat of my car, I can put it in my pocket, pen's gonna stay safe. And again, that's another expensive piece of hardware to add to these already expensive phones. So diving into productivity, one person made a comment last week that these are productivity tools that happen to be able to be used as phones. I thought that comment was very unique. I thought it was very intelligent. And I really think it sums up what it means to look at this device in general. Because when I first got the Fold 3, I showed you guys in a previous video. If you haven't already, go back and check it out. It'll be in the description. But I showed what the Fold 3 looked like next to the iPad mini. And when it came for me to make that investment in this device, that is what was kind of the deciding factor for me. That I could have a tablet-like phone that would fit in my pocket and I could easily use, and it would give me a larger space that I could take notes on. And I felt I was able to accomplish that with the Fold. Same goes for the Surface Dual 2. When I got this device, I thought to myself, hey, now I have the benefit of being able to take my desk where I have multiple screens and be able to compute wherever it is I go. So I can have one app open on one side of the screen, another app open on the other side of the screen. I can go ahead and take notes in my calendar, handwrite those notes out while looking at emails. I could browse the internet and jot down ideas and thoughts from different pages I was looking at. To me, that is what makes this device really impressive. It's essentially like taking that dual screen monitor set up at your office or at your home and bringing it with you wherever you go. The challenge though is when I compare the two devices, do I like the dual screen versus the large canvas? And honestly, for me, I'm really kind of torn by this a little bit. And it's kind of a mixed bag. I like the dual screen. I like the aspect ratio of this device. When I go into an application like OneNote, I can open up that device and I can see from there my calendar at a little bit different perspective than I can see it on the Fold 3. And I can show you that. On the Fold 3, that perspective ratio is a little bit different. And we're looking at different days here, but you get the idea. To me, I have much more canvas to work with on this particular page. When I'm doing daily planning, I have more space for that individual page. On the Duo 2, I have the ability to have more real estate for the app. So not only do I have the ability to see my page, but I also have the ability to see my table of contents. On the Fold 3, I have to jump in like this, and I can only navigate back to the page, navigate to another page, versus with the Duo, I can jump from page to page rather efficiently. You can develop all the hardware you want, but software sometimes is what really brings some of those features to life. And one thing that I think that is really unique about both of these devices is the ability that you can set up shortcuts where I can open up my mail and I can have my calendar open side by side. And no different with the Fold, I can create the same type of groupings that I can have my calendar, web apps, whatever the story is, and be able to have that as preset, like little shortcuts or jump keys. To me, that is a productivity tool that exists in both of these devices. One of the enhancements we saw with the Duo 2 was going from 60 to 90 hertz screen refresh. And to me, that really does help improve that writing experience. You seems to have more of like a real life interaction. And then jumping up to the Fold 3 with 120 hertz refresh rate, when that stylus hits that screen, that inking experience is like pen and paper. And what makes that writing experience better is the actual styluses themselves. Now, when I compare the two styluses, the Slim 2 has a flatter, wider, natural feel to it. That's its form factor. And the Fold Edition pen is more like a small pencil. Now, I came from the background of using the S Pen on a Note 20, Note 10, and Note 9, and so forth. And this to me was a big upgrade. The fact that it feels more like a pen, it's longer, it's in my hand, definitely a huge improvement. When I look at the Surface Slim Pen, that flatness of it is really nice for my hand to like be able to hold it. But yet the reason for this is if you have a Microsoft Surface Pro, the keyboard that comes with it as a standalone item, right, is able to hide and tuck away in there, and they had to make it thinner. When we look at these devices or any electronic device, when it comes to daily planning and digital note taking, being able to plan your day in a handwritten fashion over using electronic notification calendar like iCal or Google Calendar, you are going to see a bigger and better return of your investment. Being able to plan that event or activity, write down what the agenda is, know what it is that you want to accomplish, and be able to recap what it is that you as an individual or your team needs to improve upon is going to increase the return of your time versus simply putting in a calendar notification and waiting for that event to occur. Digital planning has its benefits, and these products are definitely going to help you further along in your digital planning journey. Guys, when I look at these devices, the last question I have is it my daily driver or is it a secondary device? I believe the Fold 3 could be that daily driver. It could be that driver that you use for making phone calls, taking photos, checking email, using it as a productivity tool, and be your one device. When I look at the Surface Duo 2, it's really a secondary device. It's something that can be used to make phone calls, yes, but it's not going to be the primary device that I'm going to use for making text messages or having interactions or engagements with other than looking at apps and other productivity tools. I think the Surface Duo 2 is a great device. It is probably the more business-like device, but it's not the primary daily driver in my life. Fold 3, on the other hand, definitely a productivity tool, but you can still have a lot of fun and be socially involved with it. So guys, these are the two devices we looked at today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, by all means, hit the like button. If you got questions, go ahead, hit the comments, ask the community, I'll reply. We're gonna help you through this process. And if you wanna learn more about our daily planning tools, go ahead, check out the description, look at the Key to Success Planner, and join me in our journey as we embark on digital planning together. I'm Branden Bodendorfer, creator and founder. And as always, God bless each and every one of you until we see each other again.
When that stylus hits that Surface Pro, that is just like smooth as butter. Yep, enjoy.